exploitables example module, BOF session. It's kind of like, I like doing the BOFs over like a real session, just because it's a lot more relaxed, but I do make it like a real session presentation, where I actually don't ask you guys any questions. I just say whatever I want to say. Let me close all these things up. Alright, so this is very module development in there. There's very little WYSIWYG stuff. It's all in code, and the only thing you're gonna see on the website is when we get some configuration up. I'm just gonna breeze through it really. I didn't wanna be so formal, and I'm honestly just, I'm coming up with half of it as I go. So if you're a little confused or anything, just stop me, ask a question, and I'll try to answer it as best as I can. I mean, I actually didn't write the C2s module, I'm just someone that uses it a lot. So just a little background on C2s. Chaos Tool Suite, as you guys may know, is something that Brennan of Chaos developed. He realized he was using a lot of repetitive code or something on the lines modules, such as like panels, views, and just all over the place. People are doing a lot. And there's tons of things you could do with it. There's tons of modules that probably displays. It goes into every one of these details. I just felt like exploitable ones was lacking a little, even though you can find enough documentation online. I just felt like adding another one to the pile. So we go to the module listing. There's C-tools. I have bulk export, and I have my C-tools export example, which this is wrong. As you can see, I just copied this, modified it a lot. That's about it. So let's just get to it. Ooh, it's horrible. Sorry, I plugged in the projector and then just started cleaning up. That place to start. So, all the way at the start. So I started by just defining the regular module info file. Damn, this is a wonderful monitor. I don't think any projector is this nice. The name, just regular stuff. I made a dependency of C-tools, and I'm in the C-tools package. I was hoping to patch it up and submit it in the issue queue and get it in there, but I don't know if that happened or not. Let's just get into it. So the most basic stuff is when you do, I'm gonna assume you know a lot of this, such as like the Drupal schema API and building modules and stuff like that. I'm just gonna assume everyone knows this, sorry. So when you do the regular hook schema in Drupal, you set up your module name and then the schema, and we're gonna avoid this part. But you set up your fields, such as like machine name, your first field, your second field, and you go on and off, and then you have your primary key. And this is what you would see in a normal schema definition. And C-tools is very nice. You just have to alter your schema definition and just add an export key. And as you can see, I put some comments here. C-tools export schema definition. You put an export, your key, which is your primary key, which is probably going to be the same one that you specify here. The key name is just a name for the key. This isn't necessary. I just went over more on the details. The primary key, again, same thing as the primary key down here. The bulk export, this is just stating whether your export can actually use the C2's bulk export. And this actually isn't needed neither. It's just provided by default. Then we have an identifier, and I call mine object. Normally, if you're working on your module, it'll probably be like, I'm gonna use skin a lot for example, just because I use it a lot. It will be like a skin, right? If it was a skinner, if, I'm assuming, I'm making too many assumptions. Just stop me whenever you want. And then there's a default hook. Now, if you ever use like views, you will know you have like a default views, I don't know the exact name, but it's probably default views. And this is where you define that function to have like a exploitable code in the module. And then there's an API key, and this is the owner, which is going to be the module machine name, so it matches the same thing. an API, so it's C2's export example objects, and then the minimum and the current version. And this is just specifying for anyone that does export of my module, they need to specify the minimum and current version. So if I were to up it, then it wouldn't be allowed. They're still using the one in the exported code. And that's all you need to do for your schema definition. And then I have the regular hook install and hook enable. So that's just regular stuff. And then your module actually gets really, really simple. So I set up this C2's export sample menu callback, which is literally just a menu callback and a sample page. But if we go to it, let me go now to my, close this, isn't this way? C2's export demo, you'll see it has a couple of things there. It has like option 1, testing, and testing second field. But my module is supposed to be an export, so I'm just gonna go C2's export example. It's just like a demo module, doesn't do anything useful. So if you see there's a lot, like if we had image cache installed, it's just a list you add or you import and stuff like that. And this is just the name of the configuration option for my module and the storage type. So let's say I wanted to add a new configuration. It's very, yeah.
So this is like the same as if you had like a admin setting.
Yeah, this is like your admin settings section where you're listing all your configuration.
Yeah, so if you had like, I don't know, the recipe module and you want to make that exportable, like the recipe module.
Yeah, I was like
a page of configurable stuff.
Yeah, so if it was like, I guess Skinner is a bad one because people might not be familiar with it. I'll use something like image cache or a view. When you're adding a view, when you go to add, you set up your machine name, and then you set up your fields. Views, of course, the UI is a lot more complex than this, but it was a recipe module. You should have told me that earlier.
I just thought
a recipe module that you used in the whole context. And we're gonna call this recipe 1, or chocolate cake. Nah, I probably can't spell that. I don't want to spell anything. Apple. Cake. I can't mess that up. And then if this was the recipe module, I'll like throw in other ingredients, right? I guess apple. I guess cake. Very basic. And I would save this, and it does just like anything. It will show up on your listing, and you will see it. We can keep adding more stuff. Machine name, apple, cake, 2, apple, and 2 cakes. Save that. And this is basic stuff that you see happening a lot in a lot of modules. It's just very repetitive stuff that's going on. So what C2s actually does for you, it implements this all for you, the whole UI, the listing, the add, including the import. And if you look at my listing, it does the edit, the disable, delete, clone, export, all of that for you without writing any line of code. Well, you write a couple lines of code, but not a lot. So let's take a look at my module. My module, this part is unimportant right now. We're gonna avoid all this. And we're just gonna go into this part right here. Function, C2's export sample, C2's plugin directory. It seems very complex because I'm using C2's in my module name, but this is pretty much hook, C2's plugin directory, which implements, it's a C2's function, a C2's hook function, which when you implement, all you pass in is the module, C2's, and plugin export UI. So on your module, you can actually rip this whole function out and just paste it in there just like that. And what that lets C2's know is that you're implementing the export UI is gonna be in a plugins module under export UI, and then the name of the file, it's gonna be same thing as a function. So export example, sample code, C2's export UI, again. And if we go into this, we'll see real quick. It's just a plugin array, and you set up all your module settings in it. So we have a schema, which this matches my hook schema over here. There you go. Oh, my screen is not big enough. Then you have a menu item, and I didn't build any of the Drupal menu admin stuff. I just did the menu prefix, admin build. This is all by default, so you don't need any of it. The menu items, which is C2's export, so if you go to it, it's like building C2's export, it's admin build C2's export. I didn't know. That's not the actual URL. That's the URL to my site. So this is the whole URL menu item. And then we have the menu title, C2's export example. It did that for me. Then we have the menu description. The menu says C2's export setting. You're not gonna see that unless you're on the admin page. And then we have just title and singular. This is all regular stuff. You actually don't need any of this. This is all you need. This little thing right here, and you get this whole web page built for you. That's about it. 10, 15 lines of code with all the comments. And then it doesn't build the edit form for you by default. But one cool thing it gives you a form and a setting callback. So I have my settings going to the C2's export sample export UI form, and all I have to do is declare that in my module, and it gives me a form state. It passes just like a regular hook form. It passes the form state and some fields. Now I'm gonna get rid of all this. Just so you can see. Get rid of this. And if I hit edit, C2 still provides me an edit field, except the only thing I have now is the machine name, and it's locked. So it's nice enough for us to know not to be able to change that. I'm gonna be looping around now that I realize. One problem with exportable settings is that a lot of things in Drupal use like primary keys in their databases for auto increment, and that's a problem when you're exporting stuff out. Because then when you're importing it, you get into these collisions between, primary keys on the database, and the keys get reset, and you run into all these database problems. So that's why a lot of things like views and features and context, they use the machine name, and they don't let auto increment stuff. So I'll go back to that. This is the first time doing this presentation, and I just wrote it like a couple minutes ago, so I'm gonna be jumping back and forth. I gotta do it again in like a week, so you guys are like my dummy crowd.
So that's a problem.
There. So when we come back, we hit edit, you can see I lost all the things. So I'm gonna take this, all the comments off of this, put it back. And if we just deascend this so we can see what C2's is passing back to us. You can see that it gives us a lot of stuff to work with, but what we really care about is the item, which is the specific item in the database that it's exporting when we hit edit. And you can see the first field, the second field, and those table type and export type. We'll get into that in a bit. And then all I do is put those in fields so they can be editable. Take the data, first field, second field, and put it in. So this whole UI, everything here, was literally built with this function. God damn it, let me close this. And these lines of code. I don't have a pointer, but these lines of code. Now, one really cool thing, it lets you pass validate and submit functions. So if I have more complex form, like my recipe module, if I wanted to be like, no, if to build an apple cake, you need more than just an apple, and you can do all the form validation and all that in the form validate function. Same with the submit. So if you had to modify the object a bit, you could do that there. And let's see. I just start plugging in more of this so you could get a more feel for what I'm trying to say. Now this is pretty useless, it doesn't do anything by default, but I couldn't come up with a good example, so all I did was made a menu callback that lists all my current settings, so option, testing, apple cake. Now if you're doing this in a real module, such as like views or something like that, you'll know when to load it in your module. I'm leaving that up to you guys. But one thing I really like about C2 is just by setting up the schema with the export definition, it gives you a lot of options. You don't have to worry anymore about implementing your own exportables, and it automatically integrates with features, as in like features RC2 or something like that. So if we go and we turn on I already have the features module enabled, but I'm going to turn on bulk export, and I have features, which version? Features 6.10, so I'm good. If we go to C2's bulk export, you can see right away that my module, without me doing any work, it's already exportable. I can export my apple cake, my option, my testing cake. I'm going to export my testing cake. I'll give it a module name, testing cake, export, and it gives me the info, the module, and my testing, blah, blah, blah. That's my object name and the include. Now, C2's export doesn't do it as nice as features, so if I go to features, I create a new feature, I give it a testing, description, 6x10. And when I add components, you see right away my chaos2 export example shows them in the component. I didn't write not one line for actual feature integration or anything. It picked all that up from, again, the schema definition. And I'll go export my testing cake. I'm gonna do also the option 1 cake. Then I'm gonna download this feature. Did I call it T? I think it's machine now. Nah, it's the JavaScript testing. I'll just call it testing. I'll re-download that again. So I have my testing modules. Now again, this is what makes C2s like extremely powerful. It does all this for you. So I'm gonna go in here, I'm gonna drop this module in here, testing. I'm gonna come back to my modules directory. Preferably you guys are doing with Drush, but I'll just stick to the UI so people can see. Where is it? Features, testing. I turn this on. When we go to my export demo, you still see the same listing of options that I have, but when we go to the actual configuration screen now, list, you see how it's already integrated with feature. So right away I have Apple Cake 2, option 1, and testing cake. And you might notice that its storage is normal, but these shows up as overridden, and I can revert these, right? Now, the reason why they show up as overridden was because I didn't actually implement that much of the C2's part, so I could say that, whether it's saved in the database or in code, it could still be default, something like that. But if I just go and revert this, what this is going to do is delete the database implementation of it. And now this one's only running from the feature module I just created, which is all in code. And right away you can see I cannot delete this one because it's in code, but if I go and I turn off, my testing feature, I'm gonna lose the one I reverted because I got rid from the database. So yeah, I lost it. I'm gonna go turn it back on real quick because I wanted to show a couple more examples of that. Refresh. So is there the default storage is default, and come back to the listing page. Demo, I still have, probably got a bug there. I just wrote it, it's fine. But let's go. We're actually gonna do a couple other things. We're gonna disable, which one can we see? We can see option 1, Apple Cake and Apple Cake 2. I'm gonna disable Apple Cake, which is still in the database. It's just disabled. Refresh. Okay, so that's gone. Probably have a problem with the ones that only live in code. I probably gotta fix that. And let's disable that one, enable. Let's just enable, hold on again. And refresh. Now, you guys are definitely not gonna make an implementation this simple, but it is nice. And all this stuff, you go overwrite every single part of it. And all the JS, everything is implemented for you by C2. As you can see, I only wrote like 10 lines of code. What else? So one thing I like about it is that it actually has, when implementing your UI, you can pass a handler with the class and the parent. This is for more advanced UI, it says here. And the parent is always going to be C2's export UI, but you can set up your own class, like C2's export sample class. And the class is going to live in the same place as my export UI code live. So if we go to, I'm in the C2's export sample plugins, export UI. I have my class definition, and the name matches whatever I call it here. C2's export sample, but .class.php. And this is the class which extends to C2's export UI. Now this is like, it has Skinner in all the places because I was doing this for Skinner. And I decided to just write an example module. But this is actually a child of this class. So what I did actually was just go and look for the C2's export UI class PHP file, which I actually don't know exactly where it's at, and just search for it and open it. But it's somewhere in there. You guys can do the same thing. And then copy everything, paste it in my, paste it in my class file, and got rid of everything I didn't like, and change, of course, like the hook menu and all those stuff to code from parent on my definition, just regular PHP class stuff. But I'm going to show an example of why. This is a nice UI and everything, but it can actually, it's a bit overwhelming. Like, it has all this stuff that it does, which is nice. And my switch doesn't work. Does anything work? Probably not. I don't care. I'll fix it later. But you can change anything in the UI. So if we go and we decide to change the list form, I'm just going to DSM this form and see that this whole form is built off just a form array like you will see. So if I want to disable the actual order item, which actually I have no use for it, up or down, doesn't make any sense to me. C2s lets you just, control that just like you would with anything else. And I unset something else. Not sure what that's like. Let's just do the whole top row. Cool. All right, now. Thank you. There you go. So I got rid of the top row, and the top row, as you can see, had the storage, the disable, and the search. And on a more like specific module, you can add your own things. So if this was cake, you could filter by recipe or by components of the recipe or by pretty much whatever you want. It's a form API, so you can add stuff to it. You can remove stuff. You can do whatever you want. And then the list filter, same thing with the list filter. The list filter is actually pretty cool because you can actually set up new filters to filter by, and when you click, and then, you see I didn't, let me get rid of this. Refresh. And I do all. There you go. I set up my own list filter, which is broken, apparently. Anyway, I guess don't overwrite the list filter. I'll figure it out. But if we do, if we let C2 do his own list filter, it actually works right. I'll figure out what I did wrong later. But let's see. I think that's about all I wanted to cover. Just like 20 minutes of me throwing code at you guys, and you guys look at me like I'm crazy. Let's see. Any questions? Come on, someone has to have a question. I just like ramble stuff out of my mind right now. You want me to do it again? Probably now that my thoughts are more organized, I can probably go over it better. Let's see, I did other stuff on the actual module file. So at the form implementation, I also have the C2's plugin API, the directory. Of course. You guys, what I've shown you so far could give you the whole admin and the configuration and export your object to code. We have no way of getting that once it's in the settings. So let me get rid of all these DSM statements. Cool. So these settings, there's a couple ways you can get them from the actual. Normally you have to load it from the database and check the exploited code, but C2 also provides you an API, so it'll do all that for you. It'll get it from the database and the code, and it'll like munge it up. I'm not quite sure what it does yet, but it figures all that for you. So in your module, you only have to implement a couple of callback functions, such as, this is my load all C2's export example objects. And I have my module, you can call it whatever you want. I do C2's include export, and then I call the C2's export load object and my module definition. This is actually the key. Actually, it's just the module name, but it's also on the schema. It matches this right here, the owner. And what that returns is just a list of all the exported objects, the database and the ones in code. And let's see, if you can see my listing page, which is this page that just loops through and lists it, all I do is a for each C2 export load all, the item, and I loop through it. Now, if we look at what's actually in there, just do a DSM. There's an array of all my objects. There's 1, 2, 3. I have 3 on the page, but there's 4 on the actual callback function. And that's probably because one of them is going to be disabled. So let's see, option 1, you see the machine name, the first field, the second field, the table, the type, it's overridden, and the export type is 3. The export type is supposed to be, there's 1, 2, and 3. 1 is normal, which means it lives only in the database. 2 is it lives only in code, and 3 is in the database and in code, which means it's overridden by the whatever's on the database. I might be wrong, don't quote me on that. I'm still looking at this. And then there's apple cake, which you see here, apple cake 2, and testing cake is actually not listed here. So if we go, it's disabled, which is false, but I think on my listing page, I do a set just to check if it's disabled. I do not check if it's false or not. So actually, so there we go. It lists it right. So that's not actually disabled. It has to set. Some of them don't have them set unless they're exported out to code. So I guess I didn't know that when I was writing. And then you guys could include, when you do your load function, you can exclude if it's disabled or whether it's, if you only want to use the ones that are in code and exclude the ones in the database, you can check by export type or something like that. It's up to your, whatever you can come up with. And then there's a load single object, which is C2's export load object. Same thing with the, clearly I'm calling the wrong one there. C2's export sample, the name, and you pass in the name. So if I wanted to do another one, I didn't use this, so I may be wrong. Name, we'll go and we'll call apple cake 2. For that? Nah, that's wrong. I'm not gonna try to figure out right now. But the load works right now. I'll look into the C2's all specific one later. That's honestly all I had to show for you guys. It was just me rambling. But I thought it would be cool. I haven't seen anyone do a C2's export module yet. So I'll clean it up, put a patch on C2's and try to get it in there so you guys will have an example module for anyone that wants to, that builds modules and wants to have their code exported out. That's about it. That's all I got. No questions? Yeah, so a lot of the, like if you use features, a couple of features actually does a lot of implementations for other modules, such as image cache, views, blah, blah, blah. But the one module that I know does the C2's export API is the StrongArm, and StrongArm does a lot of magic in there, and it uses the C2's export API, and that's why features goes to export StrongArm variables. But I'm sure other modules are using the export API, I just don't know them. I'm trying to get a couple other modules to use them. I'm working on integration with a couple other modules, but that's about it. Hopefully more people will start using it and stop keeping those damn primary keys, and we can just export everything to code and just move it site to site. That's about all I got. Cool, I'll stop talking now.